Hi everyone, I'm doing this process video, another process video for today. This layout rather, is for a website called Colors Stories Inspiration, and every week you get a case file with various elements that you have to incorporate into your layout. So, I can't remember exactly what this specific one was, but I know all the elements are on this page. It's always color is one of the elements. You get 5 colors to incorporate. As well, you can use neutrals. So this layout took me about 35 to 40 minutes, I would say. And there you're just seeing me cut down that pattern paper. I liked both the back and the front, but I didn't want that Paris element in that lower corner. So I took a piece of cardstock and I split it's by My Mind's Eye. I forget what collection it is. I think it's Find Your Wings and Fly, maybe. But I split it into 1/3, 2/3, and I put them on the cardstock backing, and then I just wrapped a piece of washi tape around it to hide the seam of the papers. And I wasn't too sure about this layout because I do end up doing grid design, and it's not something that I do very often. I feel as though it's not my forte, I guess we could say. So here I'm just mixing up some green. I'm using Distress inks, and I'm mixing some green watercolor from the Distress inks. And that's because, I paint this, but I don't put it on the layout. Green is one of the colors, that bright lime green, and I really struggled with how to incorporate that bright color with the more muted colors on this layout. I don't end up using this banner piece, which is a silhouette cut, but I do end up using that bright green on the layout at the end. Perhaps I should have cut this out since I'm not using it anyways. I'm sorry. But that's just the back of a sticker sheet. I just used it to paint on, so I didn't make a huge mess on my mat, which is already pretty bad. So I do have the layout in front of me as I'm watching the video playback for the narration. I thought maybe it might help me to narrate the video. I'm not sure where I've gone here. I was looking for pictures, because I think one of the prompts was to journal about a vacation or an adventure or something. Or one of them was to write 3 things about your photos or why you liked your photos or something like that. This is my new paper trimmer. I will post a link when the video goes up. I will link it to this video, my paper trimmer review that I did. It will probably go up after this video though. I'm fairly certain I cut the photos down to 3.5 by 3.5 inch squared. I was going to do 4 by 4, but then I felt that was too big for 4 photos on the layout. I thought that the 3.5 was more manageable. So I do have to cut off parts of the elephants, but on the final layout, it doesn't look bad or out of place or anything. They actually look good on the final layout. I like how the 4 grid photos turned out. And like I said, it was a very different sort of layout for me. But I did manage to use up a fair amount of items from my stash. So that was exciting. As I am moving and I'm trying to either use or purge a lot of my supplies. So I put this on because I thought about putting it there, and then I was like, no, it's too bright. Like I don't like the way that it looks. It's too bold. It just doesn't go. So I put this border strip on, and it's from a Teresa Collins sticker sheet. And yellow was one of the colors, which is why I pulled that sticker sheet out, because it has yellow on it. I thought about putting the globe behind the photos, but then you can't really see the globe, and yeah. So that didn't happen either. And then I thought about matting the photos in craft, but which would have been fine, except I can't figure out a way to fit them all onto this scrap piece of cardstock. Yeah, I get to this stage and I'm like, well, now what? Because I don't have any room to put another photo on here, and then I'll have one photo that's not mounted. Yeah. So I don't actually end up mounting them onto the craft cardstock. They just go on straight to the layout. They don't have any, they're not matted at all. And then I thought about putting them off center like that, and I couldn't deal with it. I was like, no. It's like something is just not right. I don't like this. I couldn't make it work for me with them off center. And then I start pushing them closer to be straight and closer, and then eventually they just end up being straight with one another in a square. So this layout was definitely a challenge for me because I don't do grids. And I think that's why I struggled with deciding to mat the photos or not mat the photos, or put the photos off center, or to stagger the photos. And so eventually, yes, so now I'm putting them straight and they'll stay like that. And then I thought about just putting them like flush with one another, and I was like, no, I don't like that either. So I'm surprised this layout didn't take longer than it did. And you can see I'm tapping my fingers. So I'm like, okay, now what? What do I do now? I have these photos arranged. What do I do? How do I layer? How do I cluster? Sorry. So, I was really at a loss. Like, when I would get something down, I'd be like, okay, now what do I do? Because I don't do this sort of thing. I like to layer paper and, like, tuck embellishments in behind the paper, and it was very strange to me to just kind of get to this point and be like, well, now I'm stuck. So, and I've been having issues scrapbooking lately, and I think it's because I haven't scrapped for a while because I was in school. I was in an 11-month long college program to get my law clerk certification. So well, it's not a certificate, it's a diploma actually, but anyways, I really struggled, and I have been struggling with coming up with designs and where to layer things and what colors to use. So I have been relying more on the Color Stories Inspiration website, which is good. I have another process video that I'm going to narrate today as well. That is another one of their challenge layouts, and I might post them. I know I usually post once a week, but I might upload these both in a row, because this challenge is the other challenge is past. It was done on Sunday, but this challenge is over at the end of the month on August 31st. So I think I might post this video early as like a bonus video. So if anybody wants to, they can go and look at that website. and see what it's all about. It's really cool. It's a cool concept, I must say. I enjoy it. So I was looking for, I was going to spell the title elephants because I'm not very original, but I didn't have enough E's in my white letter thickers. So then I decided to title it Amazing, because it was amazing to just see these giant animals just wandering free, and it was the most incredible thing. So those are just white foam thickers. I don't know what font they are. I got them at Winners, which is like Marshalls and TJ Maxx in the States. Actually, I'm pretty sure Marshalls owns Winners, or Winners owns Marshalls, or something like that. And so I don't know what that font is anymore, but it's just a regular white foam thicker. There's nothing special about it. It is a larger font than some of the other ones. So I did my journaling on a little die cut tag down in the bottom, and now I'm trying to decide if I should add anything else, because I felt like it was too linear up there at the top. So I add this hexagon in, and then I add it to the side there. Just, I know, I realize hexagons are still linear, but it's a different shape. It's not just a straight line. It's a different shape. And then I add another one in at the bottom. And I think that's all and then you can see me taking out my watercolors here. I needed that bright green still. As one of the colors, I needed the bright green still. So I just decided to go around the edge of my paper with green watercolor, just to bring that green color in, but it would be more subtle than what I had tried to do before, and it did not go very well. So this does take me a while, because I want it to be bright enough that it's noticeable, but not too bright that it takes away from everything else. So it takes me a while to find the right sort of balance for this, and it does take a while to outline with watercolors, because it gets dry, and then you need more water, and then you have to wet the watercolor again. But eventually I do get it done. And I think it adds just the right amount of color to the layout that doesn't take away from anything, but it adds that little pop of green just around the edges. And then I sprinkle some various shades of green along on the diagonal, just to kind of create some flow to the page. Because to me, there wasn't really anything joining joining the page together. So I will post all the links down below to my blog, to Facebook, to the Color Stories Inspiration, and there are photos at the end. I believe there are photos at the end. Yes, there are photos at the end of this video. And that's everything. So thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye!